Hello, my name is Tristan Winokur, and I'm a product manager at Meisner Filtration Products. I'm really excited to talk to you today about SepraPor hollow fiber filters, which are officially being launched today. So you are the first in the industry to learn about this exciting new product portfolio. You're probably already familiar with the Meisner brand. We've been serving critical microfiltration applications for over 35 years, with a focus on providing process solutions to the pharmaceutical industry. We are dedicated to supporting the manufacture of critical vaccines and therapies, which, in light of the current pandemic, is very topically relevant. Our expertise in microfiltration, sometimes referred to as normal flow or dead-end filtration, can also help you to sterilize, clarify, purify, reduce bioburden, and pre-filter solutions. And now, we've leveraged our membrane filter expertise to develop and introduce microfiltration TFF hollow fiber membranes for enhanced primary clarification and cell culture perfusion, which is what I'd like to talk to you about today. I'm sure we're all familiar with filtration, but just to review, let's look at the differences between normal flow filtration, or NFF, versus tangential flow filtration, or TFF. Microporous filtration is the separation of particles primarily by sieving. In NFF, the feed stream is directed perpendicular to the filter membrane. Particles larger than the membrane's pores are retained on the upstream side of the filter, while particles that are smaller than the membrane's pores pass through the membrane as part of the filtrate. Accumulation of retained particles leads to membrane fouling, which ultimately limits filter performance. In TFF, however, the feed stream is directed parallel to the filter membrane. Again, larger particles are retained on the upstream side of the membrane, and smaller particles pass through the membrane as part of the permeate. Membrane fouling is reduced in TFF as the feed stream acts to sweep the membrane clear, enhancing filter performance. There are two basic modes of TFF: flat sheet plate and frame, or cassettes, and hollow fibers. Plate and frame is preferred for clarification of cleaner feed streams and is typically used for concentration and diafiltration of clear or low viscosity products. Hollow fibers are preferred for clarification of feed streams with high particulate or high solid loading and for shear sensitive applications. The new SepraPor microfiltration hollow fiber membranes are ideal for high productivity harvest and cell culture perfusion applications. In high productivity harvest applications, SepraPor provides consistent primary product recovery in vaccine manufacturing. Shown on the left is a simplified schematic of a harvest clarification operation. The harvest material is pumped through the SepraPor device, and retentate is returned to the harvest vessel. The product containing permeate is collected in a clarified harvest vessel. In cell culture perfusion applications, SepraPor provides consistent cell retention and filtration performance from batch to batch. Shown on the right is a simplified schematic of a typical TFF loop for cell culture perfusion. The cell suspension is pumped from the bioreactor and through the SepraPor device, which retains cells in the retentate and returns them to the bioreactor. The product containing permeate is collected as cell-free harvest material. As the permeate is collected, the bioreactor volume decreases, and fresh culture media is pumped into the bioreactor to maintain a consistent volume and provide fresh nutrients to the cell culture. SepraPor is also compatible with alternating tangential flow, or ATF, perfusion applications, in which a diaphragm pump is used for bidirectional flow across the SepraPor membrane. Shown on the right is a simplified schematic of a typical ATF setup for cell culture perfusion. The cell suspension is pumped bidirectionally from the bioreactor and across the SepraPor device by an alternating diaphragm pump. The cell suspension is retained in the retentate, while the product containing permeate is collected with a pump as cell-free harvest material. As in TFF, as permeate is collected, the bioreactor volume decreases, and fresh culture media is pumped into the bioreactor to maintain volume and provide nutrients. We recognize the challenges that are inherent to hollow fiber devices currently on the market, and we have developed SepraPor to create a new standard for consistency, robustness, and scalability, all of which have been proven in a multi-year beta program with leading biopharmaceutical manufacturers. SepraPor features several additional benefits, including low shear with high membrane packing density. The SepraPor product line was developed with scalability in mind and includes a wide range of sizes to easily scale from research and development to pilot to commercial production. SepraPor filters are available in two formats, cartridges and capsules. Cartridges are engineered to withstand multiple steam sterilization cycles for reusability and retrofit in stainless steel housings, as shown here. Capsules are ideal for point-of-use autoclaved assemblies or for factory integration into gamma-sterilized, ready-to-use, single-use assemblies. We recognize that consistency is one of the biggest challenges when using hollow fiber membranes in your process, and often requires changing your operating parameters from batch to batch to correct for filter variability. To address that, SepraPor membranes are engineered and tested for enhanced process consistency. Meissner's manufacturing process capability and controls are unsurpassed in the industry, and our commitment to excellence goes into every stage of SepraPor manufacturing. Bubble point is a common characteristic to establish porosity or the retention rating of a filter. Every membrane lot is characterized for porosity by its bubble point and flux values to ensure conformity to tight specifications. Every individual filter is integrity tested prior to release. Looking at the graph, we see the bubble point ranges for different porosities of hollow fiber filters from 3 suppliers, including Meissner. 0.45 micron porosity is shown in blue, 0.2 micron is in green, and 0.1 micron in orange. Supplier A has very large bubble point ranges for each pore size, and these ranges are different than the ranges from Supplier B or Meissner. The large bubble point ranges imply a broad range of filtration performance for a given porosity, which makes reproducibility in your process a challenge. Supplier B has significant overlap across bubble points for different porosities, especially between 0.45 and 0.2 micron. If you're trying to identify which porosity is optimal for your process, and you're testing a 0.45 micron against a 0.2 micron that each happen to have bubble points in the overlapping bubble point region, they may appear to perform exactly the same, and you wouldn't know which one to select. Meissner used bacterial challenge with B. diminutia to establish bubble point ranges for 0.2 micron filters. SepraPor has distinct bubble point separation between each pore size to minimize process variability and improve process reproducibility. This means similar performance without changing your processing parameters, allowing for tighter process control from batch to batch. Currently, Supplier B's filters are used extensively in pharma, so SepraPor has bubble point ranges that overlap with Supplier B's for each porosity. This means that if you're looking for a replacement or a second source for your currently used Supplier B filters, SepraPor is a like-for-like solution. As I mentioned earlier, SepraPor is designed for ease of scalability. Cartridges are available with fluid path lengths of 30 and 60 centimeters, with effective filtration areas from 0.4 meters squared to 8.3 meters squared. Meissner also manufactures stainless steel housings and a unique tool to assist with cartridge installation. Capsules are also available with fluid path lengths of 30 and 60 centimeters, with a broader range of filtration areas from 0.011 meters squared to 4.4 meters squared. This broad range of filtration areas with many intermediate sizes is essential for predictable scale-up. SepraPor is currently available with retention ratings of 0.1, 0.2, and 0.45 micron. And we recognize that one size doesn't always fit all, so SepraPor port configurations on capsule filters can be customized to meet your specific process or equipment needs. And as with all of our products, Meisner is committed to providing industry-best lead times for all SepraPor devices. It's been my pleasure today to introduce the new SepraPor microfiltration hollow fiber filters. I'd like to thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to take any questions that you may have.